Good morning, children. Welcome back to class 11 microeconomics class. How are you? I hope all you are fine. So we were discussing chapter 2, consumer behavior. Today we are going to discuss about an important topic in microeconomic theories, that is demand. Demand can be defined as that quantity of goods for which a consumer is willing to pay, able to buy at a given price at given time. So what is the demand? Demand can be defined as that quantity of goods for which a consumer is willing to pay, able to buy at a given price at given time. So there are 4 characteristics of demand. What are they? First one, quantity of the goods and services. That means how much a consumer wants to purchase. That is known as quantity of goods and services. Second one, willingness and ability to buy that commodity. What is ability and willingness? Suppose you have a desire to buy a car, but you having only 10,000 rupees. Can you buy a car with that rupees? No. So, you should have a capacity to buy that product. You should have a money with you. So, not only desire and willingness, but the ability also required for demand. Next is price of the goods. Price means the value of goods expressed in terms of money, that is known as price. So, price is very important characteristics of a demand. Then the next one is given period of time. Here, price and time are very important because demand different at different price level, and also the demand for goods is different at different time period. For example, in rainy season, the demand for umbrellas, demand for raincoats will increase. So, time is also very important. So, what is the demand? Demand is the quantity of goods for which a consumer is willing to pay, able to buy at a given price and given time. So, this is the definition of demand. It is very important. The next is the types or kinds of demand. Demand can be classified into individual demand and market demand. So, what is individual demand? Individual demand is the demand of an individual consumer in a market, or a one consumer, demand of a one consumer in a market, that is known as individual demand. Then market demand. Market demand is the aggregate demand of all consumer in a market. Suppose in a market there are 3 consumers, then the market demand is obtained by adding demand of these 3 consumers. Okay, so market demand is the aggregate demand of all the consumer in a market. Then we moving to the determinants or the factor affecting demand. What all factors will affect the demand of a consumer? So, as we discussed earlier, there are 2 types of demand, individual demand and market demands. The determinants, the factors of individual demand are price of commodity, PX, price of related goods, PR, then income of consumer, then taste and preference of a consumer, T&P, then expectation about future, that is E. So, these are the factors affecting demand. Then what are the factors that affect market demand? So, first one, price of the commodity. Second one, price of related goods. Third one, income of the consumer. Fourth one, taste and preference of the consumer. Fifth one, expectation about future. As same as the individual demand, but in market demand there are 3 more factors. They are number of consumer in a market, distribution of income, and season. So these are the determinants, or these are the factors affecting demands. So it can expressed in terms of DS is equal to F of PS, price of X, then PR, price of related goods, income of the consumer, taste and preference of the consumer, and expectation about the future for individual consumer demand. And for market demand, it can be expressed by DS is equal to F of means function of PX, PR, Y, TNP, E, N, YD and S. Okay, these are the mathematical representation of the relation between demand and factors of demand. Now we are moving to important theory associated with the demand, that is law of demand. Law of demand states that other function remaining constant, demand for a commodity expand with fall in its price and contract with rise in price. In simple words, when price increases, the demand of commodity decreases, and when price decreases, the demand for commodity would increase. So there is a negative relationship between the price of a commodity and quantity demanded of a commodity. There is a negative or inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. If price increases, demand of decreases, then price decreases, demand will increase. Okay, so according to Marshall, Alfred Marshall, law of demand states that amount demanded increases with a fall in price and diminishes when price increases. Okay, this is the definition of the law of demand. If price increases, quantity decreases, and if price decreases, quantity increases. So one variable is decreasing, then other variable is increasing. So there is a inverse or there is a negative relationship between price and quantity demanded. There are one condition or assumptions for the operation of this law. Which law? Law of demand. That is, the law is operate when other factor remain constant or remain unchanged. Demand of a commodity not only depend upon price, but it depend upon various other factors. So what are the factors of demand? The factors of demand are price of X, then price of related good, income of the consumer, taste and preference of the consumer, then expectation about future. So all these factors affect the demand for a commodity. But here we are assuming that demand is the function of only one factor, that is price, and other factors, that means income, price of related goods, expectation, taste and preference, etc. are remain unchanged. They are constant. So here demand is only the function of X, price of X. Okay. So all other factors remain unchanged. For example, if income increases, demand also increases irrespective of their price, and income decreases, demand also decreases. Like many other factors affecting the buying decision or purchasing decision of a consumer. But here we assumed that only one factor, that is price, make changes in the demand for commodities, and all other factors remain same or constant. So that is known as other thing remaining same. This is the main assumption of law of demand. So that was today's session. Today we have discussed about what is demand. Demand is that quantity of goods for which a consumer is willing to pay, able to buy at a given price and given period of time, And the determinants of demands are price of commodity, price of related goods, then income of the consumer, taste and preference of the consumer, and also expectation about future. And there are two types of demand, individual demand and market demand. And also we have studied about law of demand, and this law states that what? When price increases, quantity demanded will decrease. If price decreases, quantity demanded will increase. So there is a negative relationship between price and quantity demanded, and the assumption are other thing remaining same or constant. Now we can discuss the exceptions of law of demand. So this law of demand is not applicable for all the cases. We have studied there is a negative relation between price and quantity demanded. But in some cases, quantity demanded for the commodity varies positively with its price. These situations are known as exceptions of law of demand. Let us find out in which all situation price and quantity demanded have positive relation. First one, given good. Given goods are highly inferior goods, which demand for such good varies positively with its price. This positive relation of some goods was first analyzed by Sir Robert Giffen, an British economist. So these goods are called Giffen goods. Suppose you have very low income and eat two basic foods, rice and meat. The major portion of your income is spent for purchasing rice. Meat is a luxury and it is much more expensive than rice. If price of rice increased, what happened? Your purchasing power reduced significantly. Now you have to spend more on rice. So, because you live mainly upon it. So automatically, you cannot buy as much of meat as before. At the same time, rice is comparatively cheaper than meat, even there is price rise. So you will buy more rice to compensate for less meat. Similarly, if price of rice falls, your purchasing power rises and you buy less of rice and uses extra money to buy meat. Here rice is the Giffen good and meat is the superior goods. Giffen named his observation as Giffen paradox, as this behavior was against law of demand. So what is Giffen paradox? When price falls, when the price of Giffen good falls, purchasing power of consumer rises and he buys less of that good, that is Giffen good, and uses extra purchasing power to buy superior goods. So then the second point is when their price rises. Which one? When the price of Giffen good rises, purchasing power goes down. The consumer buys more of it as he lives mainly on it and cannot buy as much of the superior good as before. So Giffen good being comparatively cheaper is substituted for superior goods even at its high price. So this is known as Giffen paradox. In the case of Giffen goods, the law of demand is not applicable. Then second exception, articles of distinction. The American economist Veblen discussed these exceptions for the first time. Some goods generally considered a high quality product and a status symbol. When price of such good get higher, demand for that good increase. When price of such good decrease, demand also decrease. For example, diamond, sports car, designer dress, etc. Why people purchasing diamond at high price? The basic object is to display their richness. All you know, a Lamborghini more effectively signals its owner status when it is the expensive model. So for showing their distinction from others, they purchase the goods at higher price. So it is against the law of demand. Then the third exception is ignorance. If you have no idea about price of a commodity, you buy more of commodity when its price has gone up and may buy less even if its price has gone down, because you are not aware about price changes. So ignorance is the another case of exception. Then fourth one, expectations about price change in future. If prices are expected to rise in future, so if we expect price will rise in future, the consumer will buy more of goods today itself, even if the present price are high. Similarly, if prices are expected to fall in future, people may not buy even if the current price are low. Okay. Then the fifth one, necessities. The law is not applicable in the case of basic necessities like medicine, textbook, salt, cooking gas, etc. So during necessity, during emergency, we do not look for the price. Then the sixth one, other expectations. So other expectations are change in season, climatic condition, change in fashion, natural calamities, etc. So all these are the exceptions of law of demand. In this situation, the law is not applicable. Okay students, that was today's section. Today we have only discussed about the exceptions of law of demand. We have discussed 6 exceptions of law of demand. What are they? First one, the given goods. Then articles of distinctions, then the ignorance, expectation about price change in future, then necessities or emergency, then other exceptions like change in season, climatic condition, change in fashion, etc. So that was all about the law of demand. So it is an important theory in microeconomics and a sure question in examinations. So children, you have to study this theory very well. Then as usual, you have to watch the URL, attend the test paper and download your notes and study it well. See you children, see you in the next class. Bye.